my name's Liz Pichon and I write and draw all the Tom Gates books. That's right, all 18 books. It's been 10 years, can you believe it, since the very first Tom Gates book came out, which was in 2011. And it's called The Brilliant World of Tom Gates. So as part of the whole celebration of celebrating all the books that have been out, I'm going to read to you from every single book. So a little section. We've got a new book coming out in February called 10 Tremendous Tales. So this part that I've decided to read to you is about when Tom, he's got a brand new pair of shoes, and every time he walks in them, they make a very unfortunate rasping sound. You know you know exactly the kind of sound that they make. I can't really do it. I've been practicing and doing a kind of rasping, like, I'm not going to do a raspberry, but you know, that's the kind of noise it is. So here we go. I'm going to read this bit. At first, my shoes were okay, but with every step, the noises get louder. So bad. What's that noise? Derek asked me. My shoes. Just ignore them, I tell him, which gets harder to do for both of us. My shoes make a horrible rasping sound all the way to school. Kids are pointing at me and people are staring down at my feet while I pretend that nothing is happening at all. Shoes? Check those shoes out. What's that? They're really noisy, aren't they? Derek says, like I didn't know that already. But then I remember my gym shoes. Oh, I forgot. I bought spare shoes and a note. I'll put them on right now. I'm so glad Mum suggested I bring them. I tip out the entire contents of my bag on the floor, and straight away Derek can tell something is wrong from the look on my face. What have you forgotten? He asks as I shake out my bag some more. Oh, everything. I've got no gym shoes, no note, no baby picture. So much for trying to stick to my list. Oh, why do I always forget things? I sigh. Derek tries to be helpful and makes a few suggestions. You could try putting your socks over your shoes. That might stop the noise. Or why don't you walk in a different way, like on tiptoes? Mr. Sprocket opens the door and begins ringing the bell for the start of the school day. I follow Derek inside on tiptoes and I'm still rasping, just not as loudly as before. It's working, I whisper. Maybe nobody will notice my shoes after all. That's what I'm thinking, right up until I get to the corridor when everything changes. Caretaker Stan must have spent hours polishing up the wooden floors last night because as my super noisy shoe touches the super shiny floor, I make an even more spectacular sound, and not in a good way. I'm going to have to do it like a... Everyone looks at me. Ooh, is that you? No, it's my shoes, I say, frantically pointing at them. I make that noise again just to prove it wasn't me. All the kids say, Tom, and lurch away from me. Shoes, shoes, it was my shoes, I keep shouting, which doesn't help much. Brad Galloway thinks it's really funny and makes things worse by saying, go on, do it again, make that noise. I can see Mrs. Worthington looming towards me, looking a bit fierce. She's saying, what's going on? Who's making all that noise? Before she finds out it's me, I decide to take off my shoes and socks and make a run for it instead. Trying not to get my toes squashed by oncoming kids isn't easy, but I make it to the classroom in one piece. Now all I have to do is to get to my desk without Mr. Fullerman spotting my bare feet. How hard can it be? Very. Mr. Fullerman sees everything. There we are. There's Mr. Fullerman. So basically, Tom's shoes are so noisy, he takes his shoes and his socks off and he's walking around with bare feet, like you do. So there you go. That's a little bit from Family, Friends and Furry Creatures. And if you haven't read it, all of the books, like I said, there's 18 of them to feast your eyes upon. So get reading. Bye.